seeing clicks and seeing saves in your Pinterest ad, but just not getting any sales, it usually comes down to one of these three mistakes that people make with their Pinterest ad design. And we're going to break them down in this video so you can actually really quickly turn around your Pinterest ad creatives and start seeing sales. For the ones who are new around here, my name is Magdalena. I've been running Pinterest ads for the last 5 years, specifically for e-commerce owners. I've been working with all different kinds of niches, so I am pretty sure that your niche is also in Pinterest, even though a lot of people believe that it's not. So I make these YouTube videos to make sure that you're starting to see Pinterest ads as a profitable sales channel as well. A very tempting thing that people do very often is create two pretty pins. And the pins are just very aesthetically pleasing, they're gorgeous, but they are just not product centered. And this is an issue, honestly, because people are using that search bar on Pinterest. And if you don't know how this works, make sure to watch the previous video where I explain how the search intent works combined with your design. But if people use that search bar and they are seeing pins that are just really vibey or for setting a mood or really aesthetic, so following a certain aesthetic that is trending right now, people are attracted to these kind of pins because they are creating a mood board and not because they are ready to buy. So if you are only creating pins that are so aesthetically pleasing, you're going to see a ton of saves. You're going to see a lot of people heart your pin, putting a lot of comments underneath it. However, people are not going to click on it and make that purchase because honestly, very often it's just not clear what product they're selling. And to be honest, like I don't blame people because I do the same. If I see an image that is really aesthetically pleasing, I save it to my mood board, especially when I'm not in the mood to buy. I'm looking for these kind of images. So if you keep this in mind, you want to make sure that you are actually testing a couple of different types of pins. And you want to make sure, and at the same time, when you're testing this, there is one main character for these pins only, and that's your product. So whether it's a lifestyle image where you're creating something that is a little more aesthetically pleasing, where your product is being used in a very nice way, inspirational way, that is fine, but make sure that your product is front and center. Your product is allowed to be the main character in this case. And then another way that you could actually do it is making a simple flat lay or a mock-up or just having your product stand there with a static image. And there's another way that could be user generated content, but it has to be incredibly clear that they are showcasing that specific product because on Pinterest, people are in my, at least in my experience, I haven't seen any testimonial kind of pins do really well, to be honest. So it would be user generated content. So ask that influencer to create a pin, a video where they are using your product or wearing your product and just showing it from different angles, or showing, like if you have a backpack where they open it, all the different things that you can put in there, or like an unpacking the backpack video. There's a ton of different things, but I would stay away from testimonials where people talk a lot because people are looking to get that imagery. Like they don't want to watch a video of a person who is entertaining them or telling them something. That's for Instagram and TikTok. Okay, so now that we talked about the different kinds of content that could be on the pin, I also want to talk about something else that is really important. And the first thing is that you want to put your logo on it. And this is a really freaking non-negotiable, because if a person saves this pin to their board, that pin is going to be shown to all of their followers. And if your logo is on it, it's basically going to be free advertising because you're creating brand awareness with people who have never even seen your brand before, and you don't have to pay for it. So this, please make sure your logo is on your pin, and you make sure you're branding all your pins. Apart from the logo, there is something else, because very often people put a little bit of text overlay, and this is totally fine because I do it too. Go test it, whether it's like seasonal drop, winter collection, or maybe something like, for example, for this shirt, it could say like someone wearing it and like your sweater is hugging you or something. I don't know. Like, get the sentiment across also with text. And that could work really well. But what I see very often is that people make that font so freaking small. Like, you're just gonna have to squint to read it. Keep in mind that people use Pinterest on their phones, and you're not going to be like Instagram and TikTok. If people scroll, your image is going to be the only one in their face, basically, on the phone, front and center. But with pins, you're kind of like it's cut in half, and then the pins are in a collection like this. So people, the font has to be really legible. It really has to pop off of the image that is behind it, and it has to make like it has to catch eye, and people are not going to squint to read it. And especially if you realize that if you click on an ad, because so people could click on that pin to watch it from up closer, but if you're promoting that pin, it's not opening the pin to a bigger image. It's clicking right to your website. So if you have this very small font, you could actually have a lot of people clicking on that pin just to want to read that font, and or to want to read the text, and then all like be redirected to your website right away. And you could be paying for a lot of clicks, or could be attracting a lot of people who are actually not really interested in your product, but just are like confused about what is on your pin. So keep this in mind. Make sure your font is big enough, legible, and pops off of that background that your image is. And the last thing that I see a lot of people shy away from is call to actions on the pin itself. So if you're promoting a pin, there will be like this little thing underneath just with Meta where it's saying learn more, discover now, shop now, etc. But it also really helps to actually add a call to action on your pins, especially if you are setting up retargeting campaigns. Don't shy away, because people who are willing to do the purchase, they don't mind that you give them that extra nudge and tell them what to do. They don't mind to do if you do that. They won't stay away from the sale because you tell them like discover more here or click here to like get that call to action on your pin. And you'll see, especially for retargeting campaigns, that it does make a difference. People like to be told what to do, even though they will say they don't, but you'll see that if you're giving them that right nudge in the right direction, it will really help you create those ad creatives that speak to people who are ready to do the purchase, rather than the people who are saving it for their mood board. If you rather skip the whole testing phase and don't want to figure this all out on your own, I've created a template pack of 24 templates. It's underneath this video, where I share with you my best performing creatives over the last 5 years. And they worked for all these different kind of niches. They work for videos, or for normal pins, static pins where you want to show different features, and even specific pins that have a call to action for your retargeting campaigns. You can get that in the description below this video. In the meantime, in the next video, we're going to discuss why you don't want to blindly repurpose your Meta ads into your Pinterest ads, and what to do instead if you do want to repurpose. So I'll see you in the next video.